This is going to be a tutorial video going over using the tagging feature on Public Input. If you're on the project website and in the admin side of the website, if you go under the comments tab, you'll see your questions that you've asked the public on the left, and on the right will be the responses to those questions. So this one we'll use as an example, and on the right side of that comment, or this comment here, you'll see these tags on, or tag icons. If you just click on one, it'll open up the ability to insert a tag. You can select from one that's already been pre-populated. This project, we've already inserted a lot of tags, so that's why these are showing up. If it's the first time you're typing something in, you won't see anything. It would just be like this. So if I was saying possible as a tag, it will start the cloud for the tag. So you can add multiple tags to each comment. You can either click on an existing tag to then open up that tagging to add more tags, or you can click on the tag again on the right side to then type in another one. We look at some examples that we've used previously on this project already. This was going over a question that had, in the parentheses here, that's how many responses this question had. It was 270 responses. Somebody has to go through and read all those responses, but most of the project team does not. A lot of the decision makers, they don't need to know the individual questions. They just need to see what is the big picture here. And that's where you can use these tagging features to condense the information to something that is more manageable. So this question was asking, what would encourage you to use the pedestrian bridge more often, if anything? So by asking this question, we can see and using the tagging feature, we can see that biking is the #1 incentive for people to use the new bridge if we make it bikeable. We click on, if you click on one of the bubbles, you can see that it actually, oh, there we go. It will filter by that tag. You can just close that out, and then it can show all of your tags. Let me hide these responses. As you can see, most of these comments we did put a tag in. You don't always have to put a tag in for every comment received. That's not necessary, like miscellaneous. That doesn't really help understand what's going on when we're looking at this question. Miscellaneous does not help us get the bigger picture. You can always skip using tags. You don't have to be very specific in using the tags either. Sometimes it's better to be using a tag in a broad sense than very specific. Give an example of that one with using the aesthetics tag here. This comment here talked about how having a ramp that was able to use the bike on. Also, if there was good lighting and some artwork and landscaping. Instead of saying artwork and landscaping as two separate tags, we use a bigger, broader tag of aesthetics. And that way we don't have a whole bunch of small ones that all can fit under one category, and that would show that it is a big thing. But if you keep on piecemealing it apart, you'll lose that intensity, and you'll lose how important it is from the public's perspective. Now, the bigger you grow that bubble, maybe the less you know about it. A good example would be like biking and accessibility. Being able to bike on the bridge is definitely having an aspect of accessibility. But if we click on the accessibility tab here, we can see examples where the accessibility was more about ADA compliance to allow for strollers. Biking and strollers, two separate categories, but at the same time, strollers is kind of a very specific category. Probably not a lot of people mention strolling, but accessibility is a great broad umbrella to put that under, so that's what we used. When you start doing these taggings, you're not going to know exactly if it's a good tag or not until you get a whole bunch under your belt in terms of that from the public's perspective. Start tagging things, and then once you get your cloud like here, then you can reanalyze what is going on. Fencing. Fencing could be aesthetics. Fencing could be some other aspect altogether, like in terms of safety. Maybe people want high fences so they don't worry about vandals throwing stuff over the bridge. This category of city, not sure what exactly a tag for city means. Maybe that's not something that's helpful to be using in our cloud here. I definitely went through and read the comments, thought that something was going to be a common theme, so I start tagging that. And as I went through the project comments and got through all of them for that question, turns out that one that I thought was going to be a common theme was not a common theme at all. And I decided to reanalyze that and see if I could either retag that comment into another category of tags I already have, or just delete it altogether because it's not a significant thing. We're trying to have a broad view of what's going on, of what the public is concerned about or questions they have. So if it's too many small comment tags, they don't have the effect that we want in terms of making our process easier. You want to start grouping things into bigger clusters as much as you can. You can leave some small clusters as well because that can be helpful, like this dog tag. There's one tag for dog, but that was Fido Field was a park that was near the bridge site. We anticipated that was going to be a common theme, and it wasn't. If we would delete this, some of the project team members may think that we categorized these dog comments under a different category. By leaving them on there, we could see that actually no, dogs was a low quality or low factor in terms of the public's concerns when it comes to this bridge. Another feature that you can use the tagging for is to come up with custom tags for behind the scenes. So as a project manager or someone who's working on answering questions for PI, you could tag a comment for question, or you could tag it for an SME. A bridge engineer needs to look at this question and provide the answer for you to get back to the public about. You can use these tags as a kind of like a bookmark, and that's going to help you organize the questions that need individual responses and need someone to review them. Or you could use the tag to categorize broad comments into hundreds of comments down into one or two comments that are broad in nature, and we can address those one or two comments that in a broad way answers all of those questions that we kind of condensed into one or two questions. So that's how you would want to use the tag feature in public input, and how you can make things a lot easier for when you have significant amount of comments and significant amount of participation from the public.